You're watching Sleep Culture. Chapter 7, Accelerationism. It starts with the hum of engines, an orchestra of ceaseless motion. The unseen machine of modernity pulses beneath the surface of your everyday life, whispering in the wires, buzzing through the airwaves. Roads stretch like veins across continents. Data flickers in endless cascades through invisible networks. The world is no longer static. It is alive, ever-shifting. You stand at the threshold of this storm, part of it yet apart from it. You feel it pressing forward, a tide that refuses to stop. Is it here to overtake you, or to swaddle you in its charge? To keep you, as the poet Richard Brautigan once mused, all watched over by machines of loving grace. This is where the story of accelerationism begins, a philosophy born from the cracks of industrial capitalism and the technological age. The term was popularized by philosophers Nick Land and the late Mark Fisher, though its roots stretch further, to thinkers such as Karl Marx. Nick Land, a former professor at the University of Warwick, founded the Cybernetic Culture Research Unit in the 1990s, an experimental collective that explored intersections between technology, politics, and culture. Land's work often veered into provocative and apocalyptic visions of a future driven by unrelenting technological growth. Mark Fisher, on the other hand, was a more grounded voice, concerned with the psychological and social effects of capitalist realism, the pervasive belief that there is no alternative to the current system. Both thinkers, in their own ways, recognized that the engines of progress were accelerating. The question was whether this acceleration would liberate humanity or destroy it. At its core, accelerationism posits that the systems governing our lives, capitalism, technology, global trade, are on an irreversible trajectory of rapid change. Instead of resisting this change, accelerationists suggest embracing it, perhaps even speeding it up, to force systemic collapse or metamorphosis into something entirely new. But how can one understand such an abstract philosophy? Let's imagine a story. Picture yourself on a high-speed train. It's racing through landscapes too quickly for your eyes to focus. In the beginning, you feel exhilaration, the thrill of momentum. But soon you notice that the train is gaining even more speed. Trees blur into streaks of green. Distant mountains dissolve into a smear of shadow. You begin to realize there are no brakes on this train, no way to stop its ceaseless forward charge. Panic rises within you, but as you search for a solution, a revelation dawns. Perhaps you can't stop the train. Perhaps the only way forward is to accelerate through the inevitable, breaking through whatever lies at the end of this track, be it a new horizon or a devastating crash. Is it more likely that we, as humans, will achieve world peace through collective empathy, solving all of our problems by simple traditional means like moderation and self-reflection? Or on the contrary, we will instead build our way out of it, eliminating collective woes by rendering them non-essential to the greater structure of the machine? Beautiful though it may feel to place your faith in the heart of man, there is an ever-growing pocket of big thinkers and power movers staking their bet on the algorithm. This is accelerationism. It places you at the heart of modernity's relentless engine and asks, will you try to cling to the old world, or will you ride the wave of acceleration to see what lies beyond? In the real world, accelerationism takes many forms. In politics, it can inspire both utopian and dystopian visions. Some left-leaning accelerationists believe that pushing capitalism to its extremes will hasten its downfall, creating space for a post-capitalist society where technology serves human flourishing rather than profit. On the other hand, Right-leaning thinkers often see acceleration as a path toward technological singularity, an era where artificial intelligence surpasses human control and transforms civilization. We see echoes of accelerationism in the rapid advancements of artificial intelligence, automation, and biotechnology. Companies and governments race to innovate, driven by both fear and ambition. Algorithms now shape economies, influence elections, and curate the information you consume. In this environment, time itself seems to compress. Trends rise and fall within weeks. Knowledge becomes ephemeral, a series of fleeting updates. Effective accelerationism, often shortened to E/ACC, takes a more strategic approach to these forces. Proponents like Alex Williams and Nick Cernicek have shaped this movement through works such as their influential text, Inventing the Future, Post-Capitalism, and A World Without Work. Williams, a political theorist, and Cernicek, a scholar specializing in technology and global political economy, argue that acceleration must be directed toward progressive ends. They advocate for harnessing technology to build infrastructures of automation, universal basic income, and post-scarcity economies. Through organized and deliberate technological progress, they believe society can achieve a more just and equitable world. In parallel, Mark Andreessen, a renowned venture capitalist and co-creator of the first widely used web browser Mosaic, is also associated with accelerationist thought. As a co-founder of Andreessen Horowitz, a major venture capital firm, he has championed the rapid development of emerging technologies. Andreessen's belief in technological determinism, that innovation inevitably shapes society, aligns with many principles of effective accelerationism, emphasizing bold investment in transformative tech as a solution to global challenges. On the other hand, other figures such as Land's followers in the darker corners of the internet endorse accelerationism in more chaotic and destructive forms. This faction seeks to let capitalism run unchecked, leading to societal breakdown and what they see as inevitable renewal through collapse. Yet accelerationism has its detractors. Critics argue that speeding up these processes only worsens systemic inequality, environmental degradation, and social alienation. They contend that acceleration prioritizes technological elites over the needs of everyday people, leaving those without resources to suffer the fallout of rapid change. For these critics, slow, sustainable progress offers a safer path, one that avoids the potentially catastrophic consequences of unchecked innovation. There is also an eerie overlap between accelerationism and simulation theory. If reality itself is a simulation, as some theorists propose, then acceleration could be seen as a form of stress testing the system. In this view, accelerating technological and social change might reveal hidden boundaries within the simulation, or even prompt its collapse. This notion has gained traction in both philosophical and scientific circles, blurring the line between speculative fiction and serious inquiry. Looking to the future, accelerationism raises profound questions about agency and destiny. If technological and economic forces are beyond our control, what role do we play as individuals and as societies? Can we guide the trajectory of acceleration, or are we merely passengers on an unstoppable train? Some theorists suggest that humans and machines are already beginning to co-evolve. The boundaries between biological and technological life blur with each passing decade. Perhaps the end point of acceleration is not collapse, but transformation, a synthesis of human consciousness and artificial intelligence. In this view, acceleration is not a force to be feared, but an opportunity to transcend our current limitations. Still, the path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. Accelerationism leaves us with a paradox. To advance beyond the known world, we must embrace both creation and destruction. We must face the storm without flinching, Can we build the machine that saves us from ourselves? You stand at the edge of a great horizon. The wind howls around you, carrying the echoes of distant futures. Somewhere in the distance, the engines of the world continue their ceaseless hum. Time quickens, and the ground beneath your feet vibrates with unseen forces. You take a deep breath, knowing there is no turning back. The tide of progress pulls you forward, into the unknown. Yet, within the rush of acceleration, there lies a strange stillness, a moment suspended between fear and hope. In that stillness, you glimpse a truth. Perhaps it is not the speed that defines us, but how we choose to ride the wave. The train moves forward, carried by the inexorable pulse of the future. And so it seems, do you?